Hello everyone and welcome to the 80s Cinema Club. Today we're going to be reviewing Back to the Future Part 3, released in 1990. The plot follows
Bro, chill.
straight after
He's doing
Back
well.
to the Future 2, in which Dr. Brown gets sent back to the past and Marty is left stranded in the 1950s with only a letter from the 1880s telling him what has happened. So this film follows him getting back, even further back in time, to the 1880s to meet Dr. Brown once more and to save him from his early death, which he faces at the hands of Mad Dog Tannen.
Are you just making that up as you go
That's
along?
actually a pretty good plot summary.
Yeah.
It does what it says on the
Yeah,
tin.
we let welcome back
He's
to the
also
Cinema
in
Club.
love.
We let Lewis.
Oh yeah, that's an important part.
What?
He falls in love.
All right.
With Clara Clayton.
Yeah. Just for the last episode of Lewis's, we thought we'd let him do
Yeah,
the
they're
plot
going
summary.
to crucify me after this.
Do you know the budget of the film? Well, it was 40 million because it's the
Yeah.
same as the last
It
one.
made like 220 million.
Did it? Did it not make that much?
No, it didn't make as much.
That's a whole lot of money. I could buy at least 3 dogs with that. So
At least. At
What
least 3
is
dogs.
the dog doing?
maybe more. I don't know.
A few more. At least 3.
What episode is this? Is episode 21? Did we mention
I'm
that? I can't
probably
remember.
22 at this point.
What's 9 plus 10?
Oh.
Wait!
21. It is
21.
episode 21.
You're stupid.
The last one was 20, then we did 20.5.
What?
There is episode 20.5 probably won't get released because Harry said some really controversial shit in that.
He said...
What did I
I
say?
don't know.
We can't say that. We can't say that.
Right. Okay. Well, I guess we're gonna move on then.
It also has Mary Steenburgen plays Clara Clayton, by the way.
Who?
The same woman who
Mary
plays the mother
Steenburgen.
in Step Brothers, which is the greatest comedy film of all time, starring Will Ferrell and Tom Dunn's lookalike.
She also
John
plays
C. Reilly.
the wife in Elf.
Yeah.
She does?
She does. That's where I recognise her from.
These episodes seem to be getting more off the rails as
Well, it's
we
just
record
a
them.
fun bit of trivia for you, Harry. So maybe you
Wait,
can stop
sorry.
being
I'm
such a
just looking at the
hater.
cast here. Douglas Needle's actor is called Flea.
Probably like a...
Oh, he's a
Flea.
musician.
Yeah,
Right,
I'll
what's his
just
actual
say
name? Michael Peter Balzery. Nice one. Oh,
Okay.
he was in Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Scar tissue that I wish you saw. Sorry.
Big tangent there.
Don't
80 Cinema Club, episode 21. Hope you enjoy. $75 for a horse. What a bargain, in my opinion.
I
I
mean,
played Red Dead Redemption 2. They range all the way up to $800.
Seriously?
A White Arabian, yeah.
nowadays 75 would be good. I think it was worth a lot more then.
You
wanna
can get a
know
lot of meat
something
off a
really
horse.
esoteric and political.
Yeah?
In the olden days, poor people had horses and the rich had cars. Nowadays, only the rich have horses, while poor people have cars.
That is true. Moving on to Back to the
Sad.
Future 3. though.
Okay. What else have I got? Hanging of Stinky Lomax. Rest in peace. We lost a real one. Copernicus being the dog in the 50s. Doc Brown being casually racist towards the Japanese, not believing
I know.
in quality products produced by them.
But I mean, to be honest, after that, Japan haven't really done much. Had they?
Oh
They'd
my God.
industrialised and they'd got nuked. That's a true fact. They didn't really do
Fuck's
much
sake.
up to that point in history. I mean, they had samurais and everything, but
Samurais are pretty
they
cool.
didn't
to be fair.
industrialise like the late 1800s. Then they got involved in both. wars.
One of my likes was
yeah,
the
I like Harry
the DeLorean and the Native American.
I like the wheel on the DeLorean.
Chase,
It's like
the new
Deluxe
wheels
OG,
that they've
yeah,
had to
yeah.
add. Yeah. The new the DeLorean and Native American chase I thought was really good because they've actually put a DeLorean in the desert and just like went, oh, drive it, and I think it looks cool because it looks out of place.
Yeah.
I think it looks.
I mean,
quite
generally, you,
You know
don't
what?
find DeLoreans in the desert.
cool. No,
When they-
that's true.
When they have the DeLorean getting pulled by the horses, that was like Walking Dead season 10 type stuff. Where
That is
the
true, yeah.
cars were got
Yeah.
pulled by horses.
Yeah. I found it funny that kept the tradition of the third time round of Marty waking up in a
Oh,
random
God,
bed,
yeah. I wanted to
thinking
shoot
his
myself,
mum's
I'll be
there.
honest.
Just like I had this
Stop.
awful dream.
Yeah.
I had this
Reusing
awful
it
dream.
again.
Maggie McFly. You know what is peculiar? So the
What?
McFlys are his dad's side of the family.
Yeah,
And
and his
Seamus
mum.
and Maggie are his great grandparents.
Mhm.
So why does his great grandma on his dad's side look identical to his mother? There has to be inbreeding somewhere
Incest.
down the line.
It's lots of incest.
Seems like it.
I mean, if you look at Back to the Future 1, incest.
Yeah.
Bordering on it.
He stares at boobs.
I'm
and
assuming
stuff
it was to
over
do with
That's true,
casting.
yeah. Yeah, definitely.
I also thought the Wild West setting is actually the best one we've had. I
Did you
think it's the most
notice-
interesting. What?
Did you know Seamus McFly was played by Michael J. Fox?
I didn't when I first watched it. No, until you told me.
Believe this guy.
Did you notice that his wife was also played by Michael J. Fox?
What? No, she wasn't.
Michael J. Fox actually played the horse that Clara Clay Brown.
It's true, yeah.
His
You
face
just
is
don't
on the front of
notice
the train.
Yeah.
it. You know, actually, Mad Dog Tannen was played by the same guy who played Biff.
I did know that, yeah.
Yeah, that's wild, isn't it?
It's wild, isn't
Jesus
it?
Christ.
Almost mad.
Oh.
Wow. You could say that again.
He was almost mad.
I thought the Wild West setting is the most, because obviously the first two were the same.
Yeah,
and I got it
true.
in the first one trying to keep it like simple because it's obviously trying to meet his parents. And in the third one, they went like all out with like, you know,
Very
the cowboy
exotic, innit?
aesthetic.
Very like out there. It's very nice. Very interesting.
Yeah, it's very
It's very
different
well made.
to the other two.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know we had futuristic like 2015, but it was the same town.
But it's something more impressive, I guess, seeing the Western setting to
Yeah,
2015.
and the fact they did shoot it in Arizona as well, so it was like that is real.
Wow.
They built it all.
That's one thing
like
I noticed.
outside.
The
Arizona's not
landscape
real.
is completely different. As,
Yeah,
it is, isn't it?
It's a much
Like-
different thing they have to traverse than like.
Hill Valley has like greenery and stuff.
And no massive mountains on either side.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no massive like rock formations in the middle of it. But then the first thing he sees when he goes back to
It's massive, isn't it? Yeah,
yeah.
It's a very different setting that they have to tackle for like
that is true.
considering what they're used to. It's usually like
it
a
makes sense though. They
highly
obviously wanna, like,
populated
differentiate
area.
it.
Yeah.
Oh
Obviously,
yeah. They had to do something different to try and like engage people. Which reason I thought the set design was really good.
Yep.
Like it does
I'd
feel
agree.
like your classic Western town
Yeah.
where it's like one street.
Yep.
You see
It's like
one street.
Valentine and Red Dead.
Oh.
It was awesome.
Half the people listening to this aren't going to understand any of the references.
Red Dead Redemption is a cowboy game, and there's a town called Valentine, which is just the
There
classic
you go.
cowboy street.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I like how Doc's idea of a cowboy dresses in complete bright colours as well.
Yeah.
Like pinks and yellows and blues. It was
With
really
the
fun.
atoms on each shoulder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very deranged.
He's just
I wonder where do you even buy that?
modernising style.
Honestly,
He made it, didn't he?
who knows?
Could have.
It would make sense if he made it. Because that stuff just looks horrendous.
Yeah, we carry on with the links to other characters. So the principal, Marty's principal in the school, is like the sheriff.
Yep.
Oh, I can't remember what they actually called him.
It's the same guy.
It's Marshall. Or something.
Yeah, the marshal,
Marshal,
that was it. And because he's talking to his son about discipline.
Yeah, so he's like, what now?
Marshall Strickland.
In 85, like 100 years old.
I don't think it's the same guy.
Probably like his dad or something.
Well, following the themes of this, it probably is.
Yeah.
Probably was the same actor. isn't it?
Main thing about this film, the train sequence, I think is the best sequence in any three of
agree,
the
yeah.
films. It's like
And you
amazing.
finally got character development from Marty. Like, why the fuck did it take this long for character development? Genuinely. That's my biggest pet peeve. But again, it is nice to see that they actually try to have some change in Marty's personality. Because obviously at the end you have the whole thing, throughout the whole thing, of Marty being called a chicken.
yeah.
And that he can't really step down and feels as though he has to prove he's not necessarily a coward. And in this, he kind of has that outer perspective that it doesn't really matter if they think that he is a coward.
Which I find funny is that's probably one of the most iconic like Marty McFly traits.
Yeah.
It doesn't come along till the second film.
It's mad, isn't
It's
it?
not in the first film. And I
That's-
watched
that's
that and
so
I thought,
strange,
that's
isn't it?
really
Yeah,
weird. It
I
doesn't
thought-
come
I
along
thought the
till the
same thing.
second one.
But when it comes up in the second one, it's like, oh god, he can never stand being called a chicken. Like, why was that not in the first thing?
Yeah, because he turned on like it's slapped like it's like something we already know.
Yeah,
and it's,
like
it's a
needles.
massive plot point in the third one in the fact that he
Yeah.
almost ruins their chances of escaping. Like
Oh, he almost gets killed, doesn't he?
Back to the Future.
Yeah.
Well,
Whoa!
I know,
So I'm
Back to the
so-
Future Part
this should
3.
really never film after that. Like, it's
Yeah,
a really
it should.
very
Well,
catchy.
It is.
No, but I thought the train sequence because it was quite a lot of it was practical, like with the train moving and stuff.
Yep.
Like, and it was actually shot. It really feel. I mean, Doc who's like 60 something and
Yeah.
just sits in a lab all day. He's pretty nimble.
He's pretty good, to be honest.
But it does feel like we've had obviously action scenes and the others like in number 2 when you've got they're trying to chase down Biff.
Yeah.
And then there's obviously
Oh,
the
I like that with the hoverboard.
the skateboard scenes and stuff.
This was
But this
really
is
well
really like they take it up like a lot.
Yeah.
Because you've got like the DeLorean getting pulled by horses was shot properly
Yep.
and then they're doing it. And then there's loads of different practical scenes where they're
Yeah.
actually riding on horses.
The
It's
bear.
like
Yeah.
yeah, the bear.
The bear was real.
Was it?
Looked it.
I mean, it looked real, but
Why would it not be? Well, sorry, yeah. Michael J. Fox also plays the bear. He
That's
dressed
another
up.
one of his acting credits on the film.
Yep. Bear man.
I did really like how they gave Doc Brown a love interest because like
That yeah.
in the second film, I think he's talking about how the time travel was built so you can understand like the greatest mysteries of the universe, where people will go, where they've been, and maybe even understand like women or whatever. Might be the first one, I can't remember. But.
Yeah, to be fair, for all it kind of it felt a bit like, what was the point? It was a nice point. It didn't really change too much. Obviously, it gave Doc kind of like that. What's the word? Really like dilemma as to whether he stays in the 1880s, which he said that he liked to begin with this newfound love of him, or does he go back with Marty to the time he belonged?
Yeah, they did really put more stakes on this film, it being the last one, and I think the characters did get their payoffs with like Marty going back and like, you know, life still being normal and like and what is the line he says at the end, Doc, when he comes back?
Yeah, it's something along the lines of
your future hasn't been written yet.
It's not written yet, yeah.
Yeah, your future.
Which, if I'm honest, obviously we're in the like section. I don't like the fact they brought back Doc.
Well, I think because I don't have much else I like about the film, although I do prefer it to the second one. I feel like it's got a lot more going for it with its like it being very different, and some of the comedy that comes across. So that the person I like is the Undertaker. Coming to take his measurements for his suit for when he dies, and then for like his coffin, you know, it just them little things that happen, and Marty and Doc flesh out the relationship even more.
Oh, they definitely do.
With Doc like saying, "I told you not to come here, but it's really nice to see you."
Yeah,
I do really love that scene where Biff's hanging Marty and Doc comes along, shoots.
He's got a sniper.
He's got a sniper rifle.
Here's another Red Dead reference. It's exactly what you do in one of the missions of Red Dead. Some guy's getting hung and you have to shoot the world.
It sounds like Back to the Future 3 copied Red Dead Redemption.
Pretty much. Well, Red Dead pretty much copied it.
Terrible.
Yeah, it is. I do find it a really refreshing because like you've had the first film, which is good, and then you have the second film, which kind of goes down because it does the same stuff. But then they just shove you in the Wild West, and it somehow works, and it's like, you know what, I really like this.
Yeah, it was quite fun. I enjoyed it.
Moving on to dislikes, then, I don't particularly like the romance that Doc has.
Okay, fair.
I mean, it's not bad.
Yeah,
like it's not. I don't know. There's just something about it. So the first thing I said was, how does he fall in love when Clara was supposed to die in that canyon? So you said to me yesterday, well, not yesterday, the day before, when we watched them, and maybe she died at a different point, but she wasn't. She was going over the edge there.
That's true.
And like, I don't know.
Because the way I'm thinking of this is obviously, the canyon is named like what, Clayton Canyon, something like that.
Yeah.
I think the fact that Doc was in that time period
means it already
means that she would already have survived. Because if Doc's the one who goes to find her, so Doc would have already been in that area and would have saved her. And that's
the thing, coming back to the time travel, it's quite confusing.
Yeah, and they don't really.
Because he'd agreed to meet her, hadn't he?
Yeah, he'd agreed to meet her. So he was heading that way already, and they dropped at the train track.
And then obviously,
what we could do is this.
I don't know.
In the right place, right time.
I don't know.
I agree with you. It's not really.
It doesn't. Some of it doesn't seem pretty plausible.
Yeah,
like you know, it's just really weird to me. I can't really describe it. Just the way that happens, and then it doesn't like really alter that much. Because he goes, oh, it's only the thing, you know, only a canyon hasn't been named, but this woman's gonna go live a life that she never did. Doesn't that change like everything? So like, because like people die.
That's the same for like the first one and the second.
Well, true. It's like people dying seems like that should be like a fixed point in time that you can't change, or like something bad's gonna happen. But she doesn't die, and she goes on to live this life. Maybe it's slightly better considering the life she lives is with the person who's a time traveler. Yeah. So, like, it doesn't affect loads, but this person is going to go on to die and, like, live a life that they never did. It's
the same with Doc Brown, isn't it? The first one. Yeah. Doc Brown was supposed to die, but he doesn't.
Yeah, and I feel like with the fact that Doc Brown's got this big time-traveling train...
I'm not a fan of that, if I'm honest.
That's the other thing. That is the other thing I don't like. The main thing Doc Brown says, he wants to get Marty back so he can destroy the time machine. Yeah. And this will never happen again.
And he does destroy the time machine.
And it gets destroyed, and he's like, oh, well, we did what Doc wanted. 5 minutes later, Doc comes back in this time machine he's managed to figure out to power with steam instead of plutonium. Yeah. Why? I know he wanted to go back and see Marty, right? But the temptation of, like, being able to go another place again.
Yeah, it doesn't... It just, like I said earlier, it feels like they should have just left Doc in the past.
It's like they had their heartfelt goodbye with him.
I like what he says to him though, where he's like,
like the message he gives is good, and I like that he goes to see Marty again. Yeah. But he didn't need to, because
No.
it does take away from the fact that Doc sacrificed himself to save Clara and leave himself in the past, and like Marty would forever have the photo of them with the clock to like
Yeah.
remember their adventures.
If you wanted that message delivered, Doc would have like children and grandchildren alive.
Yeah, exactly.
back
Why
in the
couldn't he
present.
have just wrote more letters that Marty could have received?
I don't know. Maybe they felt like playing on tropes again was a bit too cheap.
But
After
instead
3
of,
films
yeah,
of doing that,
but they could have. That's a good reason actually. He had children.
he would have had children. in
So
that time
unless
period.
like something horrible happened, those children would have had
True,
children, and then they would, knowing what he did, he would have told their stories to them, and the time machine would have been passed down, and
Yeah.
then he would have told them about Marty, and then Marty would have went to them and he was like, "Oh, I've been expecting you to arrive, and I've got all these letters from Doc that he wanted me to give you,
Yeah.
and like all these things that happened in the light." It just feels like they could have done it in a better
Or you
way.
could have just had Doc shouting at him as he disappears from 1885.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, Doc and Clara go way off on the hoverboard, and they stay in 1885. So you could have just shouted it there and ended it as Doc just staying there.
Yeah, true.
It's really like there was so many other ways I feel I could have put it across. The message is very good. I agree.
yeah.
But just I'm not a fan of when happy endings are put up crossover. Probably could have been a better.
Like
ending
this,
narratively-wise.
it was still a happy ending technically because Doc was happy.
Doc was happy.
Marty
Marty's
was
happy.
technically happy.
Everything's been
And then
righted.
if he'd went and go see this long lost relative of, of Doc Brown,
Like his
that would have still been a
great-great-grandson.
payoff because he could have left things for Marty to show him what his life was like,
Oh god, yeah.
and he could have showed all these other children, and it would have been like really nice.
Yeah, it would have been like just a good way to end it, rather than leaving it open with Doc Brown now travelling through time once more and Marty back in 1985.
Yeah, it
Which
seems
I
slightly
don't know
forced
why.
for them to be able to like do one last goodbye.
Yeah, I feel like it was the same way.
You got anything,
really?
Lewis?
I mean, I understand what you're saying, but I also do kind of like his you're like living out his dream of wanting to
Yeah.
travel around.
Oh
true.
yeah. See, I
no
understand
one
that.
wants to see the train.
Yeah, that's true.
Considering a DeLorean is a pretty out there car, especially when he buffed it out to be a time
Oh
machine.
god, yeah.
Making a train like
A
that.
massive like steampunk time traveling train.
Yeah.
It
Like,
was pretty cool, to be honest.
There is like 10 years, I'd say, between when Doc Brown leaves Marty.
Oh yeah,
and
there is
comes
probably
back.
Yeah,
some
'cause
within
the
that.
kids
I
are
think
there.
There's like a reasonable amount of time for have like tried to build one.
rationalised all.
But-
yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's the best, but also I think
Yeah, it's not the
Could be
worst.
worse,
It could have
yeah.
been a worse.
Oh
ending.
yeah, I mean, I preferred this quite a bit to the second one because I thought
Yeah,
it had a lot more
I
to
think it's
offer,
definitely better than
and it
second.
definitely like gave you more of the action and adventure stuff you kind of wanted from the Back to the Future things since the first one.
Yeah,
which was
I feel
kind
like
of a
this
bit
is what the
skewed.
second one should have been.
Yeah, it should have been something more like this.
It should have been a little bit of a different spin on the time period rather than just doing
it's
the
kind
same
of like
things.
Evil Dead. Evil Dead 2 was meant to be set in the past, but then the company wouldn't let him, so that's why Evil Dead 3 set in the past.
Damn.
Let's get back on track. before Harry's a government.
No,
Harry
that's
Poppins
fine.
Real
I
Festival.
just- So
Yeah,
is that us?
I
done
don't
then
think
for that?
really. Again, this is just. It's kind of hard to talk about it again because I think at this point, by the time we'd watch it, we were kind of losing steam anyway because it'd
And
been
I-
like 4 hours.
Right, and it is right when you do a
Train
film.
reference.
So
Right, yep, steam trends. right, get it?
especially
Because
you,
trains use steam to run.
He's gonna have a breakdown.
He will. By the outro, Harry's gonna be crying in the corner, and me and Lewis will be having full run.
so it's different. So the only other like group of films we've done on this is the Ghostbusters,
Oh yeah,
but the difference with them was there was years between when they were set.
true.
The Back to the Future trilogy, it's technically you could cut it together as one film
Yeah,
because
it's
it is
strange,
like
isn't
one
it?
continuous
They
story.
follow on immediately.
So it's
after.
very hard to like talk about them individually when they are all the same story, just made in a different year.
Yeah,
Which I think is why these may be slightly shorter episodes. But I mean, they are obviously things to themselves,
yeah.
and they do put across different things.
I'm trying to think of anything else
But-
that was interesting, really. But it's just kind of like it's fun to watch, but it's not memorable.
Yeah, and it's like I do like how they give Marty more of a character arc in the fact
Yeah.
that like overcomes the chicken thing,
He overcomes his chicken thing. Don't get to love interest.
and it does pay off quite well.
Biff's. Yeah, this is a weird thing. Did Biff's ancestor get like killed? Because he gets put in jail. How does he have a kid?
I think it's implied that he might be
He-
killed, but he might have already had a kid before.
yeah. Well, yeah. To be fair,
Who knows?
It wouldn't be that surprising.
Who knows?
But let's not try to get into the.
Yeah,
consummate
we've already
of all
tried to
this.
discuss so much of this.
It's just
Ratings
not
then.
worth it. Let's 7.
I'd say same as Back to the Future 2, 7.
Yeah.
7.
Not the
Seven.
best, not the
A
worst.
7. I gave an 8 because I
Oh,
enjoyed
really?
it. Well, I enjoyed it a lot more. It's just, I don't know. It's a really weird thing to rate these now because the first one in my eyes was like nostalgically perfect.
Yeah.
The second one is a bit boring because it does the same thing as the other one. But I think the third one, because it like puts more life into it,
Fair, yeah.
I feel like there's more of it that it offers, and I do enjoy
I
it a
can
lot
get
more.
that, yeah. It's a good send-off, I think, for this.
So I think
the
that we are
franchise.
7.5 for Back to
Well,
the
we're
Future
still
3.
Back to the Future. It's the wrong film, but now's my only chance to say it. Back to the Future 1, that scene where they're dancing. And Marty McFly, when George goes and pushes that little ginger boy away from the rain, and Marty McFly, everything comes back, his hand comes back, and he starts playing the song on the guitar. It's such a good scene. I get like chills every time I watch it because it's just like I just love it.
Did you forget to say this 3 weeks ago?
Another point that's shown throughout every one of the films is that on the town hall, when Doc Brown's up there trying to resort the lightning cable, which we talked about every time it showed up, is that the ledge of the townhouse breaks, but the clock arm doesn't. So for some reason, this clock arm can support Doc Brown's full weight, but this stone ledge just can't.
I mean, fair.
Back to the Future.
What?
Back to the Future 3.
Electric Boogaloo. That's usually 2, isn't it?
Yeah.
Shit. What was Star Wars Part 3?
The Force Awakens.
No, it wasn't.
Back to the Future, The Force Awakens.
That was not. Okay.
Back to the Future, The Empire Strikes Back.
Rogue One. A Back to the Future story.
How has this gone to Star Wars?
Because they just copied it, you know?
Questions. As usual, this is the last guest episode with Lewis, and he has written us 3 questions.
Hopefully we might get him back.
Well, yeah, but the last Back to the Future episode then.
All right, fair.
He has written us 3 questions, and me and Alfie probably gonna get them wrong again. So take it away, Lewis.
Pregunta uno. What does Clayton's Ravine get renamed to at the end of Back to the Future 3?
I'm racking my brain. I'm pretty sure I know what it is.
I can't remember that.
Well, get a bit of memory. What do you think it is?
Wait for Harry to decide whether he's gonna guess or not.
I'm just going like Steam Train Canyon or something.
You're wrong.
Is it Eastwood?
It is Eastwood Ravine, yeah.
Oh, Clint Eastwood, yeah, because
never said, but on the sign.
It changes to Eastwood, doesn't it?
Yeah, because they think he died in it, didn't
Yeah.
they? Because obviously
Because he
died at the
disappeared.
train, yeah. Oh, that's good. That's a good question. Right, next one.
Pregunta dos. What's the nickname
He really adds a new flair to this question.
Biff Tannen's ancestor hates?
Oh, yeah.
What is the what?
Nickname Biff Tannen's ancestor hates. Really easy question. Just think of his name.
Oh, Mad Dog.
Mad Dog Tannen.
Yeah. Buford Mad Dog Tannen. Right.
Buford's such a weird first
So
name.
that's
Pregunta
2 to you,
tres.
1 to me.
What are Doc Brown's kids called?
Oh God. I don't care about
Very easy if you know.
Yeah, I think I got it.
that.
Crushed Life.
Off the top of my head, it was like Claude and Bartholomew. I don't know. I can't
Vern and
remember.
Jules.
Yep, Jules and Verne. After the author, Jules Verne. Creator of 2000 League Under the Sea, Journey to the Centre of the Earth.
I'm back on my trivia game.
What was that 3
Now-
for you there, wasn't it?
Now the lead has been increased to if I get
Oh,
everything wrong for 4 episodes straight and you get them all right, you win.
Yeah, I'm not doing well on the trivia, guys.
You can claw it back, I'm sure.
You are mid.
So then. So then.
I think we need like a soundboard clip of Lewis saying like the question shit, so we can just put it in every episode.
How relevant?
You are broken now, aren't you?
You are
How-
mid.
I'm actually. How relevant was this film? I can't anymore.
Let me just get a little reference for all Game of Thrones fans. This is like
Oh
when
my
Theon
God,
Greyjoy
what
is
is
tortured
going
by
on?
Ramsay Bolton. That's the fall of Harry Peden for you, everyone. Anyway, back to it.
Relevance of this film, please.
Pretty relevant considering 2023. And it was set 1885.
Oh,
Good film though,
I think
in my opinion.
it's quite hard because, like we said before, it's like it's within the trilogy, so you're
Yeah.
gonna watch it if you're gonna watch like the Back to the Futures.
although this is kind of easy to miss off, isn't it? Because it's the last one, you know.
Yeah, but I think.
Although, yeah, to be fair, if you've seen the first 2, you may as well see it through.
Yeah, and I mean, I think this one because it's better than the second one. Why not? It's like
Yeah.
you know.
You may as well at this point, like I was saying. It's like it's
Oh
not.
yeah, I don't know why you'd watch the first two and then not decide.
No,
to
why
watch
you'd
the
watch
third
the
one.
second one and then
As a
not
callback to the previous episode, it's like watching Pirates of the Caribbean 1 and 2, but not 3.
That is-
Yeah.
Or
I
2 and
mean-
3 the same story.
There we go.
continuity. Something
There
that
you
feature
go.
lacks.
We're calling
severely.
back like they did callbacks.
Yeah, we're not waking up like 5 separate times.
No.
I thought you were going to ask me about how long people slept for, so I memorised them all.
I know. Let me guess. Can I
it's-
guess? Can I guess?
Yeah, go for it.
First one's 9 hours.
It is, yeah.
The second one's 2 hours.
Yep.
Then 6 hours.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't know the last
9
one.
to
I
6.
I
forgot
don't know
the
why I remember that.
last one. No, Alfie made it a thing to tell me yesterday that he knows one.
Yeah, 9, 2, and 6. Damn. As if he'd sleep for like 2 hours.
I saw that.
And the 2 hours was all right, but 9 hours.
Well, yeah, why did she remark like, oh my god, you slept for 9 whole
2
hours?
hours he'd been knocked out.
Mustn't it have
9
been?
hours he'd been
Hit by a car. 6 hours.
Mustn't
He
have
fell
9
down.
hours
Fell
though,
down.
right? He was like, wasn't it like lunchtime or something when he got hit by that car? Well, away it was like,
Yeah,
because
I mean, it
they
was
were
like
having
early
like
morning.
their dinner. They were having like tea when the.
Yeah.
It would have been early morning because
Yeah, I
if you
know.
remember Harry Peyton. When he first gets to the 50s, it's late at night, early in the morning, it's 1:21 a.m.
Ah, true actually.
Ah, yeah, yeah.
So maybe it might have been about like 10 o'clock ish.
Yeah,
Might have
still
been
be
like-
having food,
yeah.
wouldn't they?
And then
Then he goes to Doc Brown's house.
he gets to thingy at daytime, doesn't he? Gets to the actual city at daytime.
Fair enough.
Very fair.
And that's it for today's episode of the 80s Cinema Club.
Thank you everyone for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow on Instagram, TikTok,
Yeah, Twitter,
Spotify, Twitter,
Facebook,
email, Facebook.
and you can listen to us on.
You can listen to us on Spotify,
Yeah.
and other such Apple Music and other
Yeah.
such devices.
That is valid. Wherever you're listening to us right now, obviously you can hear us.
Maybe even a radio in like Peru or something. I don't know.
Imagine that. Actually, can we get like Peruvian radio permission?
No.
Maybe in your opinion, I could find a guy.
You could find a guy to get us on Peruvian radio.
Easy.
Fair.
This has been the 3 Back to the Future films. It's
It's-
been a lot more painful than I thought it was going
It's been very chaotic because we
I
filmed
was
these
on
all
the
back to
verge of
back.
it.
I am
breakdown.
genuinely sorry if this is like more off the rail than our usual episodes.
Although I kind of think, I hope you like it.
Oh, I mean, we hope
You
it,
will
I hope
enjoy
it
it.
wasn't
You
bad.
have enjoyed.
We'll be back to our normal, but I'll go
Scheduled
back to I'll
programme.
go back to my normal like monotone voice next week. Don't worry.
Yeah, Alfie's not being influenced by our guests.
No,
He's
I'm not. I'm not having something to bounce off of my fucking chaotic shit.
I don't know what Lewis. He's just looking at me.
So, what film are you planning on doing next for the fans of the podcast?
Oh, yeah. Actually, I
Episode
don't know either.
22 will be. I think it's Dracula, Prince of Darkness.
I have no idea what that is.
It's about Dracula's.
And the Prince of Darkness, presumably.
Potentially, I assume so. I have no.
Is it a Marvel film?
No.
Morbius? What's Morbius? Yeah, Ethan. Much Morbius.
Yes, it is indeed Prince of Darkness.
Okay.
Next week.
When's that one from?
1987.
Okay, interesting. I may have never heard that, so it'll be
I've
interesting.
heard of
time.
it.
I'm fairly sure our good friends over at the 100 Horrors podcast did it, and they thought it was
Oh,
shit.
did they? All right. Okay. I mean, then that's
If
probably going to be a. Let's. It could be good.
Pardon his French, everybody. Jeez Louise.
We said that what times I've sworn in the last few episodes. But yeah, I mean, it might be. Listen to it. We might think it's. I mean, because if we're saying it's shit already, it's like, oh, I won't listen.
We haven't watched it.
It could be all right. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, that's really thanks for watching. These have been
Yeah.
3 Back to the Future films.
They have been.
Lewis has been a really good guest.
He has.
Harry's on the verge of mental breakdown.
He really
I'm
is.
gonna go cry now. This has been too much.
I'll
for
be
me.
back.
We will. We'll
At
get
some
Luce back
point.
on at
He'll
some
be
point.
back at some point.
Probably like Harry needed like a year to
10
detox
minutes.
from this shit, I think. And we'll get
I will
Luce
be
back.
back.
All right, guys. See you later.
Take care.
Bye.
Tell your mother you love her.